The national elections of 2010 carried an instruction. In our nation, in our time, the Friends of Freedom have an assignment. As great as those of the 1860s, or the 1940s, or the long twilight of the Cold War. As in those days, the American project is menaced by a survival-level threat. We face an enemy lethal to liberty and even more implacable than those America has defeated before. We cannot deter it. There is no countervailing danger we can pose. We cannot negotiate with it any more than with an iceberg or a great white. I refer, of course, to the debt our nation has amassed for itself over decades of indulgence. It is the new red menace, this time consisting of ink. We can debate its origins endlessly and search for villains on ideological grounds, but the reality is pure arithmetic. No enterprise, small or large, public or private, can remain self-governing, let alone successful, so deeply in hock to others as we are about to be. Need I illustrate? Surely the consequences to prosperity, world influence, and personal freedom are as clear to this audience as to anyone could appear before. Do I exaggerate? I'd love to be shown that I do. Any who think so, please see me in the hallway afterward and bring your third-grade math book. If a foreign power advanced an army to the border of our land, everyone in this room would drop everything and look for a way to help. We would set aside all other agendas and disputes as secondary and go to the ramparts until the threat was repelled. That is what those of us here and every possible ally we can persuade to join us are now called to do. It is our generational assignment. It is the mission of our era. Forgive the pun when I call it our raison d'etre. I should have cut that line. Every conflict has its draft dodgers. There are those who will not enlist with us, some who can accept or even welcome the ballooning of the state, regardless of the cost in dollars, opportunity, or liberty, and the slippage of the United States into a gray parity with the other nations of this earth. Some who sincerely believe that history has devised a leftward ratchet, moving in fits and starts, but always in the direction of a more powerful state. The people who coined the smug and infuriating term, have you heard it? The Reagan interruption. The task of such people is now a simple one. They need only play good defense. The federal spending commitments now in place will bring about the Leviathan state they have always sought. The health care travesty now on the books will engulf private markets and produce a single-payer system or its equivalent, and it won't take long to happen. Our fiscal ruin and resulting loss of world leadership will, in their eyes, be not a tragic event, but a desirable one, delivering the multilateral world of which they've dreamed so long. Fortunately, these folks remain few. They are vastly outnumbered by Americans who sense the presence of the enemy, but are awaiting the call for volunteers and a credible battle plan for saving our republic. That call must come from this room and rooms like it. But we, too, are relatively few in number in a nation of 300 million. If freedom's best friends cannot unify around a realistic, actionable program of fundamental change, one that attracts and persuades a broad majority of our fellow citizens, big change will not come. Or rather, big change will come, but of the kind that the skeptics of all centuries have predicted for those naive societies who believe that government of and by the people could long endure.